So today we're going to be doing a little bit of an early review of the Vive Cosmos. We're going to compare it a little bit with the Rift S, the Valve Index. We're going to go over some things that are positives and negatives of the headset. There has been a couple updates. I've updated the headset, I think, twice now, and the low light setting has gotten a lot better. So that was a big issue when I first got the headset. It was unplayable in low light. In low light, you couldn't even do anything. It wouldn't track the controllers or anything. So that problem has been greatly resolved. It is still very sensitive to light. So if you don't have enough light or you have too much light, it is somewhat sensitive to that still. Let's go ahead and talk about some positives of what I like about the headset so far. The main positive that I like is the flip-up design. So I do love the flip-up design. It comes in really handy when you want to do something on the PC real quick, or you want to grab a cup of coffee, take a drink, something like that. It works really well. So another great thing about the Vive Cosmos is the screens. The screens are LCD screens that have very little screen door effect. You really have to look really hard to find the screen door effect in the screens. They are there if you really focus on it, but in normal gameplay, you're really never going to notice it. They almost disappear. The screen resolution is 2880 by 1700 on the Cosmos, where the Valve Index comes in at 2880 by 1600 and the Rift S at 2560 by 1440. The one thing about the flip-up design that I wish they would have done is there is no way to adjust the headset in and out to get it closer or farther from your eyes. So that is one thing I wish they could have implemented into this, whereas the Rift S and the Valve Index both have some adjustment in and out that way. Another good thing about this is the mechanical Ipd adjustment, and that is a win over the Rift S. The Cosmos and the Index both have mechanical Ipd adjustment, and that is a great thing for anybody that, falls within the lower limits or the higher limits of the IPD. The one thing about the Rift S is that it has really, really great lenses. So one problem with the Cosmos is that the sweet spot is very small. So if you move the headset around too much, or you're moving around and the headset moves a little bit, you kind of lose focus of that sweet spot, and that sweet spot kind of goes away. You have to constantly kind of readjust the headset. That is one thing that I definitely do not like about the Cosmos. That is a pain in the butt. The comfort of the Cosmos is pretty good. It has basically like a leather material at the front and the back with your standard foam face gasket, basically. It is pretty comfortable if you like the Halo head strap design, which actually all three headsets are using. The Rift S, the Cosmos, and the Index all use that Halo head strap design. And I find it to be pretty comfortable. I mean, the Cosmos, I don't really have much complaints about. It fits well. The padding does put a little bit of pressure on your forehead sometimes after you play for a while, but it's not too bad. All three headsets are really pretty comfortable. I would say out of all three, I would say the Index is probably the most comfortable, and the Cosmos and the Rift S are right around in the same for me. And that's different for everybody. Everybody's going to find comfort different in headsets. Their head design, face shape, whatever is all different. Let's get into the audio a little bit. The audio on the Cosmos is pretty good. They said that the drivers and stuff of these actual headphones, which are much like the deluxe audio strap, which I run on my Quest, I didn't notice much of a difference. Audio from these speakers on the Cosmos and the audio from the deluxe audio strap, to me, pretty much sounds the same. I don't really notice much of a difference, but the audio is good. I like the audio. It is good. It is not on the level of the Valve Index. The Valve Index audio is on another level. I mean, it is completely on another level. It's really not even comparable. But in the audio aspect, the Index wins, the Cosmos gets second place, and the Rift S gets last place. The Rift S audio is pretty terrible. You really need to have a good pair of headphones or some clip-on headphones, something for the Rift S. So let's get into the microphone of these three headsets. I actually did an audio recording on each headset saying the same thing, so you can get an idea of the sound quality of the microphone. Microphone check, 1, 2, 3. Microphone check, Vive Cosmos, Valve Index, Rift S. Microphone check, 1, 2, 3. Microphone check, Vive Cosmos, Valve Index, Rift S. Microphone check, 1, 2, 3. Microphone check, Vive Cosmos, Valve Index, Rift S. This is an easy one. By far, the Valve Index wins. It has the best microphone, hands down. Rift S coming in second place, and the Vive Cosmos in dead last. I mean, I don't know why they put such a crappy microphone in this thing. For a $700 headset, a microphone is not that expensive. They should have spent the money on a good microphone for this headset. So many people like to play VR and record and stream, make videos, as well as multiplayer and co-op games. I mean, the audio quality of the microphone is very, very low on the Vive Cosmos. That is a huge disappointing factor in the Vive Cosmos. So another thing I want to talk about is the weight of the actual controllers. I was pretty surprised when what I did was I actually weighed these controllers, and I weighed the Rift S and the Vive Cosmos controllers. I weighed both of them with the exact same batteries in them. So when I weighed these, I was pretty surprised to find out that the Cosmos controllers were actually the heaviest of the bunch. And I knew they would be heavier than the Rift S controllers, but I actually thought that the Index controllers might be heavier before I started playing with it and stuff. But actually, the Cosmos controllers are the heaviest of the bunch, weighing in at 7.50 ounces. Next up was the Index at 6.95, and the lightest ones were the Rift S at 4.55 ounces. So when we compare the controllers between the Index, the Rift S, and the Cosmos, I think the Index and the Rift S controllers are kind of a toss-up, and it's really personal preference. The big win with the Index controllers is the strap, the built-in strap that you can actually let go of the controller, as well as the capacitive sensors that are in the controller that sort of kind of track your fingers. They work pretty well. I prefer, in a lot of ways, the touch controller still. I feel like they just fit my hand better. I feel like it just feels more natural. And I don't really use the finger tracking all that much. I mean, there's not that much that uses it yet. I think once we get games like Boneworks and, you know, the big Valve title, I think that may change, and the Index controllers might have a big advantage in that scenario. The Cosmos controllers don't really offer us anything that the other ones don't, other than the bumper buttons. It does have, you know, the R1 button and stuff above the controller, and I don't know how they're going to use that yet. I have no idea what they're going to do with that. The battery life on the Cosmos controllers was said to be around 2 hours before launch, and it's definitely longer than that. I seem to get somewhere around 4 hours with a decent set of batteries in the Cosmos controllers. Okay, so now that this has been out for a few weeks and there has been some updates, Vive does promise to do some more updates that are supposed to improve the tracking even more. From day one, I had a lot of issues with the tracking. The tracking has gotten better through the updates. Like I said, the low light update really helped, and it's a lot more playable in different kind of lighting situations. It's still not perfect if the lighting... You still have to have a decent amount of light, which is normal for, you know, this inside-out tracking stuff. But it could still use some improvements. Now, as far as the tracking itself is not on par at this point with the Rift S, and definitely not the Index. We know the Index is going to have the best tracking because of the base station tracking, you know, the outside-in tracking. But the Rift S with inside-out tracking is actually really, really good, and I've been really impressed with that tracking. The tracking on the Rift S wasn't this good day one either. When it first came out, it did have a lot of issues, and in shooter games and stuff, I had a lot of problems, but they have slowly updated it, and it's really, really good. I mean, the inside-out tracking of the Rift S is pretty spectacular. To me, probably the best inside-out tracking that we have in a headset right now. The Cosmos still needs some improvement. No doubt about that. And I think they will improve the tracking. I think they will continue to improve it. I wish it would have been better out of the box. I wish they could have kind of hit it out of the park and not had such a fumbling, you know, in the beginning with the tracking. But I think they'll get there. The other big issue that I have with the Cosmos is just game compatibility. There are so many games that just do not play with the Cosmos. I mean, they don't recognize the controllers at all. You can't do anything in the game. You can do some Steam stuff where you can change controller bindings and a bunch of other stuff, but I don't really want to do all that. You know, I want to be able to hop into a game and I want to play. Like, I don't want to fiddle with each and every game that I want to play. And I think, again, this is going to be something that's going to improve. You know, more games are going to start to support the Cosmos, and we'll see that. I mean, that's going to happen. But as of right now, that is super frustrating. There's so many games that I want to play on the Cosmos, and I can't do it without taking time to change a bunch of bindings and everything else. Let's talk about the field of view. So the field of view with these three headsets, the Index is by far the winner. I mean, the Index has quite a bit of an advantage in the field of view department compared to the Cosmos and the Rift S. The Rift S and the Cosmos are supposed to be on paper about the same, and I feel like they're pretty close. The only thing that I've noticed, and I'm not sure if this is just me, and I haven't heard a lot of other people say this, but the Cosmos to me seems to have less vertical field of view than what the Rift S does. And I'm not sure why that is, but the horizontal seems to be about the same, but the vertical field of view is definitely, to me, perceived smaller on the Cosmos than what the Rift S is. And really, that is the big advantage of the Index, if you ask me. Not only the audio and stuff like that, but the field of view is so much better on the Index. And that is something for, you know, a $700 headset of the Cosmos. I really wish they would have given us a bigger field of view, something more on the level of the Index. Because, I mean, this sits right between the Rift S and the Index. And for a little bit more, the Index, I feel like, gives you so much more than what the Cosmos and the Rift S does. I mean, and the Rift S at $399 is an excellent headset, and it's really hard at this point in time to recommend the Cosmos over the Rift S. I don't think I can do that. There's nothing that stands out that much on the Cosmos above the Rift S to warrant the price tag, in my opinion. So after multiple weeks with these headsets, at the price points they're at, I honestly have a very hard time recommending the Vive Cosmos. I really don't see many scenarios where you pick up the Vive Cosmos over spending a little bit more money and getting a Valve Index or spending a little bit less and getting a Rift S. The one advantage I think that the Vive Cosmos is going to have is that I think it is going to be first to market to have a wireless option compared to the Index and the Rift S. And I think we'll probably have one for all three at some point. But I definitely think that if you just purely want wireless and you want one of these newer headsets, then the Cosmos is probably going to be the way to go right off the bat if you don't want to wait for it. I think right now that is about the only advantage that I can really see. I mean, the tracking isn't as good. The audio is okay. It's better than the Rift S. It's not as good as Index. The tracking is the worst of the three. And comfort is, they're all comfortable. So, I mean, that's really personal preference. I can't tell you which one is going to be more comfortable for you. But yeah, I mean, I really have a hard time recommending this headset. I really, really wanted to love this headset when it came out. I was excited to try it out, and I was pretty disappointed. The one thing, like I said, the main thing I like is the flip up front display. But other than that, I mean, it's like, if I'm going to play VR and I have the choice of grabbing these three headsets, unfortunately, this is going to be the last one I grab every time. I actually use my Index and my Rift S quite a bit. I actually swap between the two depending on what I'm playing. Setup-wise, the Rift S wins in easy factor of setting up because all you have is two wires. You have a display port and you have a USB, and that's all you have to plug in. The Cosmos isn't hard to set up either, but you do have a power pack that you have to plug into a wall that your headset plugs into, and then you have a USB and a display port out from there. So it's not much different. It's about the same, but the Rift S is still just one less step. And they're both easy to set up once you get in there. The Index is going to be the hardest because you have to mount external base stations. Not a big deal, but some people don't like to mount them to their wall. After that, it's basically the same thing almost as the Cosmos, where you have a power adapter, a USB, and a display port. And they're all pretty simple to set up. They really are. And that shouldn't really be too much of a factor between the Cosmos and the Rift S. Maybe for the Index because it is a little bit more involved. But yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. I mean, that is my honest opinion of these three headsets right now. My honest opinion, early impression of the Cosmos. I think there's a lot of kinks that they are going to get worked out. I don't know how long that's going to take them. To be honest, we are not sponsored by any of these headset manufacturers. None of these headset manufacturers have ever sent us anything for free, so there's no bias to any of them. this is just my honest opinion, our honest opinion from playing with them and trying them out. All right, guys, so that's my early review of the Vive Cosmos after using it for a few weeks now. Comparing it in a lot of ways with the Index and the Rift S, I think these are the three big competitors in the PCVR market as of right now, and that could change. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Feel free to leave some comments if you guys have used these three headsets, which ones you guys prefer, your impressions of the Cosmos if you got to have some hands-on time with it. And feel free to join our Discord. We're always active on there. We can talk about all this stuff. And also watch our Coffee and VR show that is live every weekend. We do a live stream show. We have a lot of fun with that, so feel free to jump on there and ask some questions in the live chat. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.